Bitcoin is crashing. Billions wiped out in days. A political storm brewing. And now, Nobel Prize-winning economist Paul Krugman is pointing a finger directly at one man, President Donald Trump. But why? What does Trump have to do with Bitcoin's price? And how did the Trump trade become one of the most controversial forces in global crypto markets? Today, we break down Krugman's explosive claims, the political psychology behind Bitcoin's movements, and the surprising links between crypto, the White House, and global financial volatility. This is the real story behind Bitcoin's sudden plunge. This week, economist Paul Krugman, one of Bitcoin's loudest critics, released a Substack article titled "The Trump Trade is Unraveling." And inside, Krugman made a bold statement. Bitcoin is falling because Donald Trump is falling in the polls. He argues that Bitcoin has become a bet on Trumpism, and when Trump weakens politically, Bitcoin weakens financially. According to Krugman, the crypto market is reacting directly to the president's political fortunes. But is that true? Or is Krugman oversimplifying a much deeper economic design? Let's examine what he claims. Whether you support Trump or not, one thing is undeniable. His return to office dramatically changed Bitcoin's direction. In early 2025, Bitcoin surged to an all-time high, over $126,000, as Trump embraced crypto in a way no U.S. president had before. Crypto insiders saw him as the pro-Bitcoin president, and traders responded immediately. Every speech, every rally, every policy announcement triggered sudden spikes in price. This is what analysts began calling the Trump trade. The Trump trade reflects a belief that Trump's presidency increases the value of Bitcoin. Why? Because he promised friendlier regulation, fewer restrictions, tax incentives, more support for blockchain innovation, aggressive opposition to anti-crypto institutions. Crypto whales and hedge funds began treating Bitcoin as a political derivative, a financial asset tied to Trump's political success. And Krugman says this is where the problem begins. Because when Bitcoin becomes tied to a political figure, it inherits that figure's unpredictability. And in Trump's case, volatility is guaranteed. According to Krugman, this past month has seen Trump's polling numbers drop faster than at any time in his presidency. And at nearly the exact same time, Bitcoin began its steep descent from $126,000 to nearly $90,000. Krugman argues that traders are losing confidence that Trump can protect crypto interests. His exact words: "A weakened Trump is less able to work his will on all fronts, including his efforts to promote crypto." In other words, if Trump loses political power, Bitcoin loses its political shield. The correlation is not guaranteed causation, but the timing is hard to ignore. But there's more to this crash than just politics. 2025 has been one of the most turbulent years for crypto on record, despite pro-crypto laws from the White House. One event shocked the market: a $19 billion liquidation wave on October 10th. Triggered by what? A Trump threat against China that sparked massive fear in global markets. The Trump trade had a dark side. It made Bitcoin hypersensitive to Trump's foreign policy and public statements. Even a single aggressive remark could erase billions. Today, Bitcoin sits around $90,348, nearly 30% down from its high. Some analysts warn of a possible bear market. Others say support remains strong. Prediction markets like Myriad still give Bitcoin a 70% chance of hitting $100,000 before dropping to $69,000. So which direction is more likely? The answer depends on whether Trump's crypto presidency stabilizes or continues unraveling. Krugman ends his critique with a familiar claim. He says Bitcoin still has no real use case. His blunt words: it isn't money. It isn't a medium of exchange. It isn't a hedge against inflation. To him, Bitcoin behaves like an overhyped volatile tech stock. But critics argue Krugman misunderstands crypto completely. Bitcoin isn't meant to replace all money. It serves as digital gold, a global store of value, a hedge against political instability, a decentralized alternative to state-controlled money. So the debate continues. So is Paul Krugman right? Is Bitcoin falling because Trump is losing influence? Or is this just coincidence, mixed with global tension, macroeconomic pressure, and the natural volatility of crypto? The truth is probably somewhere in the middle. Trump's policies do affect Bitcoin. His polling numbers may influence trader psychology. But Bitcoin is also shaped by global markets, technology cycles, halving events, and institutional behavior. One thing is certain: Bitcoin's journey is no longer purely financial. It is political, it is cultural, it is global, and in 2025, it is more unpredictable than ever. If you found this breakdown informative, hit the like button, subscribe, and let me know in the comments. Do you think Trump controls Bitcoin's fate, or is Krugman exaggerating the connection? Thank you for watching. Stay informed, stay critical, and as always, stay ahead of the curve.